So you're thinking about moving to Denver, Colorado, but you don't know where. You like the idea of the Mile High City, but you might not even heard of any cities outside of, the big two or three, Denver, Boulder, Colorado Springs. I'm going to cover the city of Thornton in this video, kind of see if that's a good fit for you and your possible move to Denver. I'm going to go over a map here on the computer, share my screen with you, and point out where Thornton is in kind of relation to some of the other places in the state. We'll talk briefly on the traffic patterns and the major roads and highways in and out of the Thornton area. Then I'm going to zoom in on the map and go over the city and some of the great neighborhoods in the city, all the way to the north and the south, and kind of go over to some of the housing prices, some of the info on those, and see if maybe that aligns with your goals in Denver or Thornton for that matter. So if you are thinking metro a mile high, let's get started. If this is your first time on the channel, let me tell you a little bit about it. My name is Tim, and on paper, at least, my job is easy. I help people better their lives through their real estate choices. Sometimes that includes selling, sometimes it involves investing, other times it involves moving to a new city, like Denver. Overall, real estate really helps people build generational wealth, and I love helping people do that. About me, I moved to Denver in 2006 from St. Louis, really for a 1 year volunteer job. After that first year, I fell in love with the city and decided to stay. I've lived in Denver in seemingly every faction, from looking for a job to employed, starting a new career. I've lived here as a single person, dating person, engaged person, married person, and now I'm raising two crazy little girls with my wife here in the Mile High City. So suffice to say, I've experienced almost everything you can imagine in a Mile High City. However, when I first moved here, people from home or people from college, they started asking me what it's like to live in Denver. And then as the world grew and I got into real estate, people started asking me what it's like to live in Denver. I loved helping these people. These people are just like you. They just wanted some tips and tricks and some advice. I would love to help you, whatever you are in your journey to the Denver area, in this case, in the Thornton area. And I would love to help you live inspired through your real estate decisions. No matter if you are moving this week, this month, this year, this decade, or even tomorrow, let me know how I can help you make a smooth move to altitude. Now, let's get into Thornton. I'm going to share my screen. Thornton, Colorado is really kind of on the far northern end of the Denver metro area. Honestly, before 2010 or so, I had never really heard of it. Part of the reason for that is I thought it was far away, but in reality, it really isn't far away at all. It's about 10 miles north of downtown. And honestly, when the airport was built, Thornton was the closest city to DIA. It really has taken off since the Great Recession. And it's really a fantastic city, kind of busting at the seams right now. The city itself packs over 142,000 people into a tight 34 square miles. New construction is really the theme in the city. 67% of the homes in Thornton are less than 9 years old and still have the original owners in them. Likewise, the big national builders, D.R. Horton, LGI, Lennar, they're really building homes as fast as they can get land. And there are 609 homes for sale as of today, beginning of September, and more than 500 of them are under construction right now. Even though there is tons of building really everywhere across Thornton, the homes are really not as high priced as a lot of the rest of the Denver metro area. Average home prices for Thornton is just over $500,000, which may not seem affordable, but compared to the rest of the metro area, the average is like $640,000. So the homes here are much newer and relatively affordable. And that makes the city itself kind of really attractive to young families with younger children. Median household there is just over 100,000, give or take. And it's kind of a blue collar workforce around here. It doesn't really have the draw to like the tech industry as some of the southern metro areas. Anyway, so looking at the broader Denver map here,
Thornton is just east of I-25, north of Denver. Highway 76 here kind of cuts northeast on the east end of town, and it has C470 on the northern end. C470 right here was initially supposed to encircle the metro area. Hasn't quite made it there, and if you look at it, it kind of really starts out here in Thornton. So because we're, just very close to downtown Denver, let's go over the commute to the central corridor of Denver. So if you are going downtown during rush hour, sometimes a little tricky. It seems like really every morning on the traffic report, there's an accident or a slowdown or congestion right here at Thornton Parkway. There's every now and again issues at 36 and 25 right here. That sometimes stretches the traffic way back into Thornton, back to 88 and north of there. So if you are going 25 south in the morning to downtown, you aggressively make it in 30 minutes or so. That is pretty rough for a 10-mile trip, but if you just factor in the sheer volume of people getting into downtown from all over the north end of the city here, this is the only highway that goes north and south. So you have, just a bunch of congestion here. And then the people heading to the city from the west and east on 470, and also coming from like the Boulder Estes Park area here on 36, kind of makes sense why there's a lot of congestion right here. Actually, the area right here where 70 and 25, they call this the mousetrap. It's notorious for trapping vehicles and all the sharp curves and interchanges here. And if you look at it from the helicopter view, like the traffic reporters do, kind of looks like that old board game. So there are other routes into downtown Denver from Thornton. You can shoot down Quebec to MLK, but still the most efficient is still 25, even with the nightmares that is the mousetrap. So, if you're going not during rush hour, if you're going weekends or in the early evening, whatever it is, like 10 minutes maybe. Next, going into the tech center. It's the furthest away from Thornton here. You want to get on 70 eastbound and then take I-25 all the way down to DTC Boulevard, Yosemite, or whichever exit is off 25 that's kind of closest to your final destination. It'll probably run you just shy of an hour, maybe closer to 45 minutes in the morning or afternoon. You can also go all the way around here, going south on 25. But during rush hour, that's kind of a disaster because you're going to hit traffic in like 3 different places. Here at the Mousetrap, here at 6th and Alameda-ish on 25. And then again, as you get into the tech center right here at 225. So if you're going 25 around, that'll run you more than an hour, I'm sure. You might be able to hit, Havana or even Chambers to get west and avoid 225 altogether. There's all sorts of little detours and side roads and back roads that you can go to get into the tech center. A lot of people have their own, little shortcuts that they say work the best. Some people just stick to the way they know, which is 70 to 225 or 25 all the way around. So now we get driving done for all the boring stuff, all the work stuff out of the way. Let's talk about driving for some of the fun reasons. Thornton, it's kind of a pretty decent drive. Distance wise, it's actually pretty far, but it's just a straight shot, really. It's all the way up 70 going west. When you get to the mountains, the ski resorts, just a touch more than an hour. Loveland is the closest of the big ones, at least. That's just at an hour. As you go a little bit further west, A Basin or Breckenridge, and even further up the mountain to Vale. This obviously adds some time as you go up. One of the real good things to remember about mountain traffic, is if you can avoid it, don't go on Fridays, Friday afternoon, evening, and try and avoid coming home on Sundays in the evenings. I mean, that's really particularly true when you're, kind of getting the Thornton area right here, because you are one of the last cities in the metro area that 70 going east hits. So, you'll be in really traffic all the way from the mountains, and especially from like the tunnels down to Thornton here. I mean, shoot, at that point, you might even hit the tourist, coming in, heading back to DIA right here, if you're going at the peak times, Friday evenings or Sunday nights.
So now we've kind of talked about the macro picture of Thornton. Now let's zoom in and take a look at the city's roads and the important spots and really the neighborhoods inside the city limits.
So starting at the south end of town, the major roadway is 88th Avenue, which is actually Thornton's first exit as you get out of downtown heading north on 25. If you go east on 88th Avenue, Thornton kind of heads a little bit more south at I-76. I like to call it the 76 Speedway because it really seems the fastest highway in town, regardless of what the speed limit is. People just zoom through 76. Just to the northeast of I-76 is the Mile High Flea Market. Now, this is something that you really truly have to experience to understand. I just wouldn't do it justice by explaining it, but simply it's kind of just an amalgamation of a farmer's market, a garage sale, and an amusement park. The independent shops at the Mile High Flea Market, each one of them kind of specializes in one particular type of merchandise. So really on one corner you'll find sunglass guys, and the next corner over there'll be a discount toy store for kids, and across the street from there it's an antique store next to a luggage shop, and then finally you'll see like a beauty store selling makeup and hair pieces. It's incredible. It is open every weekend, rain, shine, snow, or heat wave. And throughout the year, there are special sales with closeouts on things like shoes, and tools, and tires, and just about anything else you can imagine. I mean, the Mile High Flea Market is kind of quintessential to getting to know your new hometown. Back to the map, the city then kind of zigzags around the Pelican Ponds open space. There are some really, really great neighborhoods and subdivisions around here. The Timberleaf neighborhood, that is just to the west of the open space, and they really have just finished within the last few weeks building the place. They're really actually gigantic homes. On average, there are 3 or more bedrooms and 3 or more bathrooms, and they're almost 4,000 square feet. They're in the high 700s starting point. They go up over $1 million, and the builder, like I said, just finished them. Then, as we go north past the park here, we're going to go into Quebec and another great new neighborhood, the Quebec Highlands. These were built like 5 years ago or so. So they're just now kind of being resold from their new original owners. Uh, they're still in great shape. They don't really have a whole lot of outdoor space or lawns whatsoever, but I've toured a bunch of them and they're really, really good layouts. All right, back on the map, the Rocky Mountain Arsenal is just east of I-76 here. This is a wildlife refuge where you're definitely going to see bison and coyotes and all sorts of deer herds and all sorts of other kind of unique to Colorado animals. As you head a little bit north of the Arsenal, there's a brand new neighborhood. This is another one that's just finishing being built. The Hours Park neighborhood, it's at Colorado 104th here. They really have spectacular homes. I've shown almost every floor plan in here. One of the things about the neighborhood and the builder that I think is really attractive to buyers is the builder is right now offering 5.59 fixed interest rates on homes if you use them as your lender. I mean, shoot, right now interest rates are hovering above 7% in October of 2023. So you can't pass up 5.59 from the builder. Just right here, a little bit north of here, a mile or so, there's another subdivision, the Homestead Hills. These were built in 2005. They have a little bit more character and a little bit more neighborhood to check out because they're not, brand new, sterile homes, if that makes any sense. All right, again, on the north end of town, the border really is E470, which is a toll road. E470 was slated to encircle really the whole metro area, but it hasn't quite made it all the way around yet. With that being said, Thornton is essentially the beginning of E470. It meets up with 25 right here in town, and 25 would make up the western border of town. As we see here, Colorado's newest outdoor mall is right here off of 25 and 144th Avenue. The mall, one of the premium outlet malls, it actually opened a few years back, and inside there's an Armani Exchange store, a Michael Kors store, the Polo Outlet stores here. There's all sorts of other really great stores. There's a bridal shop there. There's also a lot of other things to do with your family in the mall area. Then go back to the map. If we are heading a little bit more south, kind of where we started out here at 88, there's an older neighborhood right here at 88th and Washington. It doesn't have a fancy name or anything, but these homes were built in the 50s and really have great charm. I mean, they've been lived in and renovated and torn down and rebuilt and renovated again. And, every one of them is quite a little different. And honestly, I think these are some of the biggest yards really across the metro area. And, as is wont to do with that area of homes, every one of them has kind of their own story. In this area, the detached homes are priced in like the low 400s, and most have 3 or 4 bedrooms and 3 or 4 bathrooms. Just across 25 here to the west is Waterworld. Well, it's not technically in Thornton, it's nearby and was named the 5th best water park in the country in 2021. It's great for families. It's got over 50 water attractions, everything from all sorts of slides to lazy rivers to wading pools and stuff like that. It's just good to know if you are moving here with family or have family come and visit you in your new home. So this kind of gives us the zoomed in view of the roads and neighborhoods in Thornton, with just a few exceptions on the western side of town. Everything really has been built in the last 15 to 20 years. That just means they're very, very modern homes and very beautiful. Just some quick stats throughout the city. Detached homes have an average of 3 bedrooms and 3 baths, generally about 8 years old. Average price point is just shy of 800K, and they actually are very, very sustainable. Almost every home built in Thornton is called a net zero energy home. It's a very green home. Essentially, net zero energy means the home produces more energy than the house uses annually. Um, if you are looking for more multifamily homes, condos and townhomes, stuff like that, there's a few of them kind of scattered about town. These homes were really built in the last 4 or 5 years. They're right around that $500,000 price point. A little bit smaller, averaging 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a little bit smaller square footage as well. These are really great options for people wanting almost brand new homes, maybe first time home buyers, or people that are retiring into a low maintenance home. These are great areas for it.
Well, that is Thornton, Colorado. With everything being new and kind of exploding here, it's really not a place that can go wrong. By making this video, my hope is that you got some information to assist you with your move to the Denver area. Whether you're moving to Thornton, Westminster, downtown Denver, I would love to help you. I hope you're more knowledgeable now that after you watch this video. And if you have any questions or input on this video for future videos, leave me a comment so I can improve those. I'd also appreciate if you subscribe to the channel and push the bell for notifications and really give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to get into a deeper dive of Thornton or really anywhere in Denver or the Colorado area, make sure you email me, shoot me a text, or my favorite, give me a call. I'd be honored to be a resource whenever you're moving, whether it be this week, this month, this year, this decade, or even tomorrow. I will be sure to help you make a smooth move to altitude.